Alright, a couple of things before we start buffing. If you want to be completely safe, put on some safety glasses and put on a respirator. The buffing compound dust is not good for you. Put on some crappy clothes because you just starting out buffing, you're going to sling this stuff everywhere. So be aware of what's around you. We're going to start with the wool pad and the rubbing compound. And what I'll be using, like I said, is the 3M Perfecta rubbing compound. Alright, some guys talking about buffing speed. I'll be in between 900 and 1500 RPMs. Just playing around with it. You play around with it. Watch some stuff, see what you like. Some people say to start the buffer after you put it on the panel. I say who really cares? Slinging compound in your own garage. It's your business, right? So I'm going to piss them off right now. I'm going to start it in the air. You never want to stop in one area and stay in small sections at a time. Now when I'm doing this, I'm not putting very much pressure. I'm just pretty much using the weight of the buffer. You can always put a little tiny bit of pressure or just use the weight of the buffer. This buffer is actually pretty light, so that's why I'm just giving it a little bit. The DeWalt's got more weight to them, so. Alright, you can see it kind of coming back. That's what you're doing. You're buffing this up. You're bringing that shine back. Buffing, when you put a pad on there, make sure that pad is perfectly centered. You can always trigger it. Make sure it's seated on there. And you can always turn it on and check it. Make sure it's centered. This thing's actually been sitting around for a while, so it's already odd shaped, but for you guys, make sure that sucker's centered. You'll have a new pad, so you'll be able to see it better than this old one. Okay, yes, this is a very slow process. I actually like to do my edges and then work my way into the middle. Alright, so when I'm buffing, I'm not sitting perfectly flat. With this wool pad, I'm kind of up on an edge a little bit. Alright, so when do you know when to stop? If you look up really close at this clear coat, I'm talking really close, and you can't see any more sand scratches in it from the DA or the block. If all those scratches are gone, then you're done with the rubbing compound. Basically, that's what you're trying to get out. If you do not get out all of your sand scratches with the rubbing compound, and a week down the road you see your car and it's got all these dry spots being something that looks like this on the edge, then you did not buff enough with the rubbing compound. So I'm going to keep buffing on this. You can see that it takes a while to get that shine back up. It's not even where it's supposed to be. Still got a ways to go. Alright, so another way to spread the compound around, rubbing compound, is to kind of glitch the throttle, move it around. and then hold the throttle and buff. I'm going to kick this up a little bit. If this is, let's just say for instance, this line is the edge of a hood or a fender or something. This is an edge, there's nothing there. Okay, when you're buffing and this wheel is spinning, you want to use the edge of the pad that's spinning off of that edge. If you're buffing it with this side and you got that sucker spinning and it's spinning like this, it's going to catch this edge right here. This is going to go flying, or you're going to burn right on that edge. Alright, now that we're done with the rubbing compound, you go ahead and wipe it off with your microfiber cloth. By the way, when these cloths are brand new, they're bright yellow. This one's really old. Now you can get up close. Make sure you got out all your scratches. All your scratches are out. Now what you have are a bunch of swirl marks in your car. So you need to use the swirl mark remover and the gray pad. Alright, so time for the gray pad. The swirl mark removing pad. Let's see what it says here. Foam polishing pad. Perfecta foam polishing pad. Because I know you guys are going to ask me. Okay. So make sure this is centered on there, on your buffer. By the way, I have kind of Velcro pad on the buffer here. I believe I had to purchase this separate. I'll get you a part number there. We use Perfecta 3000 swirl mark remover. That's what I'll be using. A little bit of this. Right, section at a time. I'm going to use this at low speed. You just want to give it some love, just a little bit. I can rub it in, flip the throttle a little bit. Probably at about 900. Okay, when you're using this foam pad, you need to try and keep the pad as flat to the panel as you can. Sometimes you really can't keep it that flat. Just fine. But as much as possible, try and keep this flat. Unlike the cutting pad that you can kind of have on edge, this one has to be as flat as possible. Let these little fingers do their job. If you want to put pressure in the beginning and then lighten up as you go. Alright, so if you're not sure if you got out all of your all the swirl marks out, you can always pull it outside and check it. Black is the hardest color to buff. It's a pain in the butt. And we'll check to see kind of the before here, looking at the other panel, and the after the buff. Pretty big difference. That's what you don't see behind the scenes going on with the show cars. All painters got orange peel. It's the buffers that make them look good, so remember that. Real quick about sanding by accident inside these edges and you can't get to it with the buffer. A couple of things you can do. Get the microfiber cloth, put some rubbing compound on it, and hand rub it. Or they have little mini buffers. You'd be spending more money, but they got little mini buffers that might be able to get into that. That's why it's important not to sand in those little crevices, because it's a real pain in the butt to get that shiny again. Alright, there it is. It's my version of a buff. There's plenty out there. There's plenty of different systems. Don't get stuck on this one. Try them all out. See which ones you like. You might like something different. Have fun with it. Hopefully you don't burn nothing. Don't sand too far in the clear. Wash out your pads when you're done, like right after you're done. That way they'll be nice the next time you pick them up. Wash your microfiber cloth. Mine looks like it needs to be burned. Alright you guys, if you're not subscribed, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.